In three, two, one, welcome back to another episode of Matter of Fact with the Modern Day Hippies. I'm here with
Yes,
Rob,
sir.
per usual. How you been, man?
I'm good, brother. You know what I mean? Everything's going well. Thankful. Giving.
Yeah,
Eagles
yeah.
game tonight. We'll see how that turns out by the episode's posting. Probably another win, though. So,
Yeah, we'll see. The Steelers freaking lost to the Browns on, what was that, Thursday?
Bro,
That was crazy.
Jameson Winston, though. Jameis Winston. He is the man. Everybody loves him. He's a crazy
Bro,
person.
his
The shit he
pre-game
says,
interviews are hilarious.
insane. I'm gonna order a dub on Amazon. You know what I mean? He's
Yeah.
crazy. He's
Nah.
crazy. You gotta love it, though.
Yeah. So we usually do these episodes on Monday, but I'm actually leaving because it's Thanksgiving tomorrow, so it's Sunday right now, which means y'all might get this a little early. We'll see though. But I wanted to just start the pot off by asking what's something that you're thankful for that a lot of people definitely have in their lives or probably have, hopefully have, and take for granted. What's something you're thankful for that a lot of people take for granted?
Be honest with you, one of the things is I'm thankful for this pod. Just to be here. To have somebody that right now me and Tommy are extremely consistent. We didn't want to miss a week. We really had it and things like that. Just to have something like that is cool. I'm very thankful for that. A lot of people don't have that consistency in their life.
Yeah.
Something to do, something to be passionate about. Other than that, obviously health, family, the standard. But out of the ordinary is what we're doing, and some other things that I'm working on with some friends that I have. I'm just trying to do something extra.
Word. No, that's what's up. Yeah, I mean, I'm definitely thankful for the pod as well. Like, just being able to sit down and, have these conversations every week and get a better perspective. Like, somebody who has a lot more experience on Earth and, from a whole different, era and side of the country than what I grew up in. So, just like the expansion of perspectives. Because, even like if it gets heated, like, always leave the conversation like thinking about things differently and it added on to my perspective. So I'm definitely thankful for what we got here. And just on top of that, I'm just really thankful for my journey in life. Um I really don't have regrets, like I look back and like wish I would have did things better or maybe did things differently, but it'll always be in hindsight, never like literally wishing that I could go back and change it because I just love where I'm at right now. Um, yeah, I feel like I'm in a good place, like with the video production company, with the pod, with the YouTube, just everything. Like, feels like it's falling into place, as well as some things are falling apart. But that's life. But I feel like I got a real grip on things, so I'm just grateful for where I'm at right now. And it hasn't always been pretty, and I think that's something anybody can take from this is be grateful for where you at right now, whether it's good, bad, whatever, because chances are is that you in the past would have been wishing that you are in the position you are right now. Yeah. But in terms of the pod, that's all shit that doesn't matter, which brings us into our first segment of the show, shit that don't matter. And I think we should open this one up. It's Sunday. My man's repping the Eagles. And we should just open this up with some Philly shit. Ben Simmons and the Nets played the Sixers yesterday, 2 days ago? And I think the Sixers finally broke their losing game streak. I think they got
one dub, yeah.
Yeah, but because they're doing terrible. But if y'all don't know, Ben Simmons, he got drafted to the Sixers and
number one overall.
Yeah.
Number one best player.
Yeah, I'm gonna just let Rob take this away.
Yeah, no, I'm a little upset. I'm a Sixers fan, true to heart, and we drafted Ben, bum ass Ben, number one overall. We wrote it out too, paid him the big money, but I'm glad we got rid of him. He's not our problem anymore. But just to see the problem that somebody else have, I feel bad for them. Motherfucking miss a wide open layups. Number one overall draft pick. Like, it's just a shame. And the fact that he got that second contract, he is robbing motherfuckers.
Do you think he is worse than Bronny?
That's the facts. Bronny Jr.? Yes, yeah, definitely.
He's worse than Bronny?
He might be, bro. He might be. He's close. For the dollar value, absolutely.
Yeah.
For the money that you're paying, value, absolutely. Yeah. I'll take Bronny Jr. on my roster over him any day. Just for the, he's a top.
Like if I was playing 2K, I would definitely trade for Bronny for Simmons. Like I'm not paying
just
that nigga
give it
20
a salary.
mil.
Exactly. Just give it a salary.
Yeah, definitely not. But yeah. Also in other sports news, this weekend was my school's 160th rivalry anniversary versus Lehigh versus Lafayette, the oldest rivalry in college football currently, and we won. You know, we this is our first time winning the Patriot League championship in some years. We beat our rivals to win it, and shit got crazy. People got a little wild, and long story short, they tore down the goalpost. They tore down the goalpost, and you know what? Like that happens sometimes at like Alabama and stuff. Mind you, this is a small school, for one. Two, they threw it in a river. Now, that doesn't sound too crazy, but
the river's 4 miles away.
Not only is the river 4 miles away, it's on the other side of the mountain because the school's on a mountain. So, you know, these kids, they tore down the goalpost, carried it out the stadium, carried it 4 miles across over that mountain, and threw it into a river. I was with them, but I did not carry anything. But, yeah, I think that just shows how crazy sports can make people. It was crazy. Like, it was the most unified I'd ever seen my school.
For sure.
Like,
part of it.
There was 12 police cars. Let me give a little more context.
Yeah.
12 plus police cars. They're yelling on the loudspeaker like, yo, put the goalpost down and go to campus or you will all be arrested. But there's like 1,000 plus people in this mob. Nobody, they don't care.
You stick together, you're good.
There's alumni. There's fucking people from just Bethlehem walking with us. There's students. There's prospective students. Like, it got crazy.
Just the regular people from Bethlehem, those are the ones you really got to worry about.
But
they're like,
yeah. What do you think, like, being from this area, like, because my thing is, like, my conclusion, I was like, this is why Bethlehem residents hate, or the city of Bethlehem hates Lehigh, because not only did y'all fucking tear y'all goalpost down, y'all carried it over a mountain 4 miles and threw it in our river because y'all won a fucking football game. So, like, you being a Lehigh Valley native, how does this make you feel?
To be honest, I mean, Lehigh kids are mostly tame. You know, Lehigh is a very rich, preppy area. You got to worry about the locals more than you got to worry about Lehigh people. You know, that's facts. That's the facts. I know the people who was out here who got caught by the locals right in this same ass neighborhood. You know what I mean? I had a buddy who was shooting up bath salts, shooting his gun on the top of his roof. That's my homeboy I went to school with. That's the locals. You know what I mean? Like, so shit's wild, but I think that's what's up. I think part of it is like in the age of social media, in the age of everything, you see everybody doing that stuff. It's like, this is a big win. We got to get crazy. And that's what they did. They got crazy. That's what you got to do. Whoever came up with the idea to march that shit 4 miles to the river, that's a good idea. And to get everyone to follow, that's a true leader. So that guy needs to rise up. Big pound of him. That's what's up.
He should be president on me. I was like, where are we going? They were like, we're going to the river. I'm like, what river y'all talking about? Right?
It's like, river's far.
Yeah, I was like, y'all talking about that river? Y'all can't be talking about that river. That's over the mountain.
We're going.
We're
going. I like it. I like it. So I appreciate that shit.
Yeah.
Overall, Lehigh kids, you don't got to worry about them. And they bring mad money in because, you know, they're rich kids.
That's true.
Facts.
That's true.
They
that is
mad money
the matter
in the neighborhood,
of fact.
so we'll take that.
With this. In other news, Jaguar. They just came out with their rebrand of the Millennium. Not a good thing though. Maybe not. We'll see. But so far it's not been a great thing. Yeah, you want to fill the people on what Jaguar, the car company, did for their.
We'll see. Maybe. No, I don't think so. Not with this one. So Jaguar, they went in the dark. Said we're coming. We're gonna reinvent everything. Come out, boom, with a big splash, right? No, they did a fashion show with some weird ass freaky deaky shit. You know, I don't even know, borderline a lot of DI LBGT, all the acronyms you could think of. They threw that in that commercial. No cars though. No cars.
Yeah, there wasn't one car.
No cars in the commercial.
Yeah, it wasn't a
they
car.
They reinvented their logo. No cars though. It's a car company.
That is something that was a little weird to me. They didn't show any cars, but what they were showcasing was the future, right?
That's the future.
Listen. This is how the future is depicted in like a lot of horror, sci-fi, futuristic movies. You see, you got people in weird shaped clothing, and they're either albino or super black or
androgynous.
Yeah, or something. They got colored eyebrows and shit. What they're showcasing you is Jaguar's idea is now futuristic. So, listen, I'm expecting them to drop the car of the fucking millennium. I'm expecting that.
All right. Tommy's gonna be very disappointed.
No, I'm saying like I'm not gonna be disappointed, but I'm like, this is my thing. Shit, if you did all of this,
they're giving you a new Volkswagen Beetle, but Jaguar.
Maybe, but if you did all this and like you flop with the car, bro, that's tough. So I'm going to give them the benefit of the doubt right now.
All right. First of all,
the car might be hard.
First of all, don't matter how hard the car is, you killed it. You killed it.
What if it's the best car ever?
No, bro. No, because you're going to be associated with that commercial. You're driving that with that commercial. No matter how hard it is, you're flaming.
If it transforms? If it's a transformer car?
If it transforms and shoots missiles, you're good. Other than that, you're fucked. You don't want to buy that car. That is bad branding. If you're looking for top dollar, high profile people that have money, that is not what they want. They're not looking to attract gay dudes. Dudes looking to attract gay dudes? No, they probably don't need that. They're looking to attract hot chicks. And the homophobe-mobile is not going to do that. The homomobile, not the phobobile, because that would be anti. You know what I mean, bro. You know what I mean. That shit is not going to work. I wouldn't want to buy that car that's associated with that. That's not representative of me. In my personality, that car is not for me. If I thought it was, now I know it's not.
But now how?
I know it's not.
How often do you watch a car commercial before you buy a car?
Well, I heard one dude on the comments, but I had that shit pre-ordered. Not no more. So maybe you thought it was cool until you found out that they was trying to play you like that. Like, you drive this, you're that. No.
I think Jaguar is smart. Because the rich niggas, the people who can afford Jaguars, are probably leftists, right?
No.
And they gonna be like...
No. Rich ass people are not leftists. Yeah, they're gonna be on the right. They want their taxes.
I'm thinking
low.
like
They want their money. They want slaves. They want all that shit. You know what I mean?
I'm thinking more like celebrities.
Celebrities, some of them.
Enough of them.
But do you really think they want to go full in on that? I don't know if you want to go in on that. Dude. That's brand destruction, dude. So I think so. I think DEI is dying. That's been proven, especially with the election of Trump. And with that, you're going in there, because they probably was developing that for a year. And like, oh, we spent money on it. We was taking time on it. We got to drop it. And it's like, all right, well, DEI died like 6 months ago. You're late to the party. And now you're dropping that. You're dead, bro. You're dead in the water.
That's true.
My fact. That's my true. Matter of fact, that's what I believe.
That's true. Yeah, DEI is definitely. What do you think about the destruction of DEI? Because I think that people mix up DEI of like what it was actually doing with like the culture that's came from it. I think the culture that came from DEI is terrible. It's not good. But the essence of DEI, I think, is very important, especially like at institutions like schools and stuff. Because to create the best possible environment for learning, you need to have a diverse range of thoughts, opinions, cultures, backgrounds, etc. And if admissions process are skewed in a way to where certain people from a certain background, not even talking racially, but just a certain financial background, who are able to get a bunch of practice on tests and these things, if it's skewed in that way, in America, most of those people are of a a certain stature of race and all that, then you're not going to have as diverse as an environment as you could. So DEI for those reasons is important, but the culture of it has ruined it.
Yeah. I think, you need diversity for sure. You shouldn't let, like you said, those rich people get the advantage just for being rich. I know I went to, when I was in high school, I was friends with this one girl. She was real cool, and her dad was a doctor and all that. And she went to SAT classes and all this shit. Me, I went to a party the day before my SAT. Got drunk, whatever, showed up, didn't study, never did anything. You know what I mean? But I beat her on her score. She took it twice. She did a study. She did all that tests, and I beat her. I only took it once. That was it. I was done. And it's like, well, that shows that I was probably a lot smarter than she was, considering all the resources that she had to get where she got and where I was able to get where I got. You know what I mean? So I think that's one thing that's really important, and you want to take that into consideration if you want the best people. Because what could you do with less than, this person had every advantage in the world and they only got that far. You didn't have any advantages and you got further than them. Okay, I probably want you.
No, for sure.
Mean? And I don't think we should lose that perspective of overprivileged rich people. And in certain instances, you have to be really, really rich, then you do whatever the fuck you want. That's the United States of America. That's the United States of America.
That's Elon Musk.
Yeah, Elon Musk. Do whatever the fuck you want. But for those borderline rich kids, you got to weed them out. You know what I mean? Because half of them are, overly entitled. They're not really going to be competitive because of that, because everything was handed to them. And you get somebody who was fighting for it. I'd rather that person who's fighting for it and can withstand tough times than somebody who can't. You know what I mean? Those are the people that are real. For me, I used to work 80 hours a week, bro. You know what I mean? I used to work 10-hour shifts at one job. You know what I mean? I used to show up at 1:30 in the morning. I used to start work and didn't finish till 10 p.m. So 1:30 in the morning till 10 p.m. That was closing session at the marijuana dispensary when I was working there and shit. Crazy, bro. You know what I mean? The people that could do that, and then I would never compromise my values. So every day, I'm never going to skip walking my dogs. Never. Even if I had 4-hour opportunity to sleep, I'll make it 3 so I can do what I need to do. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And if you do that sort of shit, that shows a lot. You know what I mean? That shows I could be in the gutter with nothing, and I know that I can work my way out.
No, that's facts. And I think that that's very true, but even still with that, there's only a finite amount of people in the world like that, regardless of race. But I still think outside of that, it's still important to have a diverse environment. So it's still let's say it's a situation where a rich kid who's able to get SAT practices for 6 months before they take it 4 times, and a situation like that, and they get a 1450, right? Yeah. Versus somebody who took it once, maybe twice, never studied for it, and they get I don't know SAT scores, but they get a 1300.
They're different than one out.
Less than them, but it's you're just weighing it. They had way less, but they still did this good. Yeah, this person did better, but they did so much better, yada yada. And I think the scary thing with DEI is that a lot of the times people get it mixed up with, these schools are just giving these spots to people who don't deserve them and that aren't going to excel or be successful, which I'm not going to deny. In some cases, that is the case. But I will say, from my experience at this school that I'm at, the top students in the school are probably quote-unquote DEI picks because...
Or they're foreigners.
Yeah, or they're foreigners. But just in the sense that, me, for instance, I knew people who had a 36 on the ACT. I had a 24, 25. But I have a 3.6 here. I'm in an honors program. I got 2 minors, a major. I did pretty well. And versus people who might have had a 36 who didn't do as well. And people will mix up DEI and think it's just people who don't deserve to be at the school taking spots from people who deserve it more.
What I think, you're just a regular person, but where the DEI would come into play is because you're black, right? And in those instances, I think DEI is more important. You know what I mean? Because in most instances, If you're a black person, you probably are going to be poor in general. That is how the United States
in
is.
America.
Unfortunately, that is the way it is. You know,
you
what
roll
I
the
mean?
dice.
If you're going to be generalizing, that would be the assumption in that situation. But when DEI starts to factor in, like transgender and queer and all this goofy sort of shit, that's when there's a problem, because that's not really. Those are made up. I'm sorry. But those are made up. They didn't exist 10 years ago. They never existed 10 years ago, but now they are the factor. Now that is DEI. Now we got to do they, them in our shit. You know what I mean? And most people aren't down for that because it's not the majority of America. That's a very small percentage that is an elitist percentage in the biggest cities in the country is where you're going to find that sort of stuff. So I think that is what people really turned against, and that hurts other people that really deserve it, like you. You know what I mean? Essentially, I count myself as DEI too. You know what I mean? Nobody count me in white. That's for sure. Yeah. Never been counted with the white folks. That's for sure.
Even if you wasn't a DEI pick, just by being black, you're kind of DEI for the school.
You're always DEI. You're kind of DEI. And I'll take it.
Yeah,
I'll take it. If you got to meet a quota, here I am, motherfucker. I don't care.
I don't got to go against 200 niggas. I'm going against 6.
Yep. I'll take it. I will take it. I'll take any advantage I get in this world. But even if I have to go up against 200, I'm confident that I beat them. You know what I mean?
Me too.
Because that's just the way I am. So if I'm doing what I do right now, I'm in sales. Yeah, I'm a top guy. I'll beat you. You know what I mean? So that's what you have to have. But at the same time, you should look for that diversity just from an organizational perspective. But you shouldn't discount skill for diversity.
That's facts. That is a matter of fact. Coming up to our last topic of this section of the podcast, Elon Musk is considering buying yet another media company. This time, news, and this time, again, left-leaning. He's thinking of buying MSNBC.
Rachel Maddow. Wow. And was that morning show with Morning Joe?
I don't watch those, but
I don't watch it, but I know.
One, how much do you think this company is worth?
First of all, it's not a company. It's a spinoff. So that's the thing. That's what's very curious, because in a spinoff, it's difficult to assess the value of something like that. You know what I mean? So they're spinning off MSNBC, but there's regular NBC where you're watching sports and all that shit. There's CNBC. CNBC is balling. Love it. Jim Cramer. Anybody who's investing, you're watching that stuff. You are watching it. They're not partisan at all. All it is money. So that's where the money is. So you want to get rid of MSNBC, which is a left-leaning political, instrument. So that's why they're spinning it off, right? So what could he do with that? I mean, he gets a channel, but he has to get rid of all those motherfuckers. You know what I mean? The whole people, you got to get rid of it and reformat it. So you have to. It's like, I'll take the broadcasting rights, but you have nothing there. If he bought it, he would have nothing that he wanted.
Do you think he will buy it? I think there's a good chance he might.
Because he has so much money? Maybe. If you got $300 billion, be like, yo, let me buy a company. And if it don't work, I can sell it anyway.
And he got like the type of money, like, he knows he's not. Yeah, it's like beyond fuck you money. Like, he knows his, for fucking 10 generations they straight. So it's like, he really got the type of money, like, if he really just has an idea, or like, when you have an idea, like, man, it would be nice to go to Japan. Like, he got the type of money, like, man, it'd be nice to own an island in Japan, and he'd go buy an island. Like, he got that type of money. He's like,
which country should I buy? I buy the whole damn country. You're all mine.
On me. Yeah, he's that type of nigga. So, right now, currently, he is on Twitter, or X, formerly known as Twitter, after he bought it. He's on X, and he's playing around with the idea of buying MSNBC right now.
Gotta do it.
I think he's going to do it. I think he's going to do it. And he's not going to pay y'all.
I think it'd be funny as fuck. I think it'd be funny as fuck. The ultimate result of it, he's got to tear it down if he bought it, because it's nothing that he wants there. But I think it'd be funny as fuck. Mega statement. If you have that much money, he can't even spend that in his lifetime if he wants.
Yeah, that's why it's like.
That's why he buys companies now. You don't buy cars. Motherfucker buys companies. Let me get Twitter. Let me get MSNBC.
He collect them like Infinity Stones.
Right, he can get the Infinity
I need
Stones.
CNN next.
Right, he can get that shit. That's on sale too. But speaking of Tommy, I want to take a piss. My bad on this one.
All right, y'all. Quick message from our sponsors. It's not nobody but me, but I hope y'all are enjoying, this new version of the podcast. If y'all miss MDH, I'm not saying it's going forever. I'm not saying it's coming back anytime soon, but it may be back. Just stay tuned. But let us know how y'all are liking this podcast. Let us know in the comments. Follow us on Instagram. All that good stuff. All that's going to be in the description at the end of the episode. And let us know what you're thankful for in this holiday season before we get to 2025. We're almost halfway through the decade, y'all, which is crazy. Like, bro, 2020 to now was so fast. I don't think we've really wrapped our head around how insane that 4-year span was. But we're almost halfway through the decade. And, ask yourself, how much have you improved since 2019, since 2020, since the beginning of this year? Are you where you want to be? Because I'll be honest, I wasn't. And, I did a lot of things this year. I got to see a lot of places and see a different version of myself. But, towards like the end of the summer, I was gaining weight and all this stuff. And I just realized I wasn't where I wanted to be. And, what I did is I decided to make a change. And currently it's been going good. This week I got over 350,000 views on TikTok alone, over 100,000 on Instagram and stuff. So never think it's too late for you to make a change. Don't think you got to wait till January 1st or till you're a certain age or whatever. You can do it right now. You can do it right now. You can change and become the best version of yourself. Start today. Your year starts today, not January 1st. We love y'all. But back to the show.
Matter of fact, we
are back. Just ending off this last topic before we move on to the next segment. I really think Elon might buy it. I really do. And I think it would be hilarious. And I don't think he stops there. And I think the real question we need to ask is, when do we need to take a step back? Because right now it's funny. Like, he bought Twitter. Now he might buy MSNBC. It's funny. But when do we take a step back? Like, all right,
too much.
This dude has how many satellites in the air? He's trying to go to space. He's not from this country. He's buying media companies over here. He's fucking trying to build robots and automated cars that you can remote control and will be in a fleet and all this stuff. Like, it sounds cool. I'm glad he's very ambitious, and I don't want to hate on him, especially not from a perspective of like he's not American, like, born. I don't want to be like that, but at the same time, I'm very critical. I think a lot. And if this was anybody else, like, for instance, if this was Jewish people, and if he was Jewish and he came over and did the same shit, niggas would have a problem. So it's cool right now. Elon's on your side right now. He's the fucking champion right now. But how long does it take for people to take a step back and be like, all right, Elon's going a little too far? But I think he should buy MSNBC. I think it'll be hilarious.
Tommy says he's going too far, but I want him to go further.
Nah, keep going. But I'm just like, I've been critical of him because I was like, what? You don't think that's a little weird that, like, again, he is the richest person alive, so none of us can really wrap our heads around how he's thinking, but at the same time, like, I don't know.
Right now, I mean, to be honest with you, I think he's just playing by the rules of capitalism, which he should, because those are the rules that we play by. You know what I mean? So it is what it is. But if we as a country want to change that shit, we need to, like, back in the day, up until, like, Reagan and shit, tax rate for the top percent was like 90%, you know what I mean? You had deductions and shit, so nobody actually paid that, but it was very high. So nobody, like, people like him got mega rich, so they're richer than everybody else, but now they're super richer than everybody else.
Hell
you know what I mean?
Like
we exaggerated that shit beyond belief, And to be like, if we continue to do that, it's like, all right, every gain in the United States goes to just these 100 people. that's not going to be good in the long run. That's just a matter of fact. You know what I mean?
That
it's
is.
like, all right, wait, who has the money? These 100 motherfuckers? Well, I'll be the first motherfucker to say, I'm going to go kill that motherfucker and take all of his money. You know what I mean? Who wants to roll with me? You know what I mean? And I'm down. Sign me up.
I think, and we talked about this a little bit last episode, I think that is a very real feature for America in the next 20 years. Yep. Like, we haven't seen it, so we don't think it's real, but we've seen it in the world.
We'll take it, right?
Exactly.
If we can't get it, we'll take it.
And that is a matter of fact, and that is a wrap on this segment of the show. We'll be right back. Welcome back to A Matter of Fact. We're on to the second segment of our show, which is shit that does matter. And, man, I don't know if you've been, on planet Earth recently, but shit has been very expensive for a very long while.
Are you kidding me?
And, that's maybe changing. I don't know. But it seems that we've hit a height and prices are slowly but surely starting to go down. And this is what creates, as Rob and most people would call it, a bubble. You want to go ahead and explain to people what type of thing this is and why it is something that fucking matters.
Yeah, so this definitely matters. So we are we're
and can you use that example to explain to people?
Definitely a lot of examples. So, the economy goes through a lot of bubbles. We've been good for a while, but last big one was probably the 2008-2009 financial crisis. Everyone's very familiar with that. That was precipitated by the subprime mortgage crisis.
Yeah.
Which is where we were giving mortgages to people that were subprime. They didn't really need that mortgage. They didn't really qualify for that mortgage, but we wanted to give it to them anyways just so they could buy our shit. So, now we fast forward to today. And what type of bubble are we in? So there's multiple bubbles. There's 3 mega bubbles that people are talking about. We have stock bubble. People say there's a stock bubble because of passive investing. So passive investing.
Niggas like you.
Niggas like me. I'm partial passive investor. I do invest in ETFs. But niggas like everybody. Because that is what we were forced to do. So 20 years ago, most people had pensions. Now nobody has pensions. Very few people have a pension. So what do you have? You have a 401k. Your 401k is investing in ETFs, which are going to be those big funds. You know what I mean? This has 150, 200 different companies in it. And they all have Microsoft, Apple, NVIDIA, all your hottest of the, whatever. So when you do that, though, you're going to artificially inflate those prices. It's not going to be based on the financial metrics of the company. It's just like, I'm dollar cost averaging into this one. So, used to have a good price to earnings ratio would be 19 or 18 or something like that. Now the average price or earnings ratio might be 23, 26 or something like that. And that's just what you can expect. And I think that's going to be the trend going forward. But worse than that. There's worse, Tommy. That's bare minimum.
That's bare minimum?
Mm-hmm. That's going to be bad. That's going to be bad. But
that's going to be bad in the future, but this is going to be bad right now.
Right now is people bought cars. So if you're uninformed and you don't really follow shit, be like, I need my car, I'll go buy my car. You go out, you go buy your car. All right. If you buy your car a year or 2 years ago, it was the peak of the market. And the market, they had no discounts, they had nothing. They were adding on to the cost of the MSRP.
I don't even know what that means.
MSRP is the manufacturer suggested retail price.
So they're saying it was more than what the niggas who made it was.
Exactly. This is what I suggest you sell it for. That's what the MSRP is. This is suggested retail price. And we're going to charge you more than that. Because there's a shortage. Well, there ain't no shortage no more. Now there's an overabundance.
Because nobody was buying them shits.
But no, for those niggas that did buy that shit during that time, well, you're fucked. And the same things happen with housing. Especially in those markets like Austin, Texas.
So when you talk about niggas who bought this shit, this isn't niggas who paid flat out. These are niggas who bought contracts and they're financing it, right?
Yeah.
So
well,
somebody
who bought it flat out,
but even if you bought it flat out,
you're really bad.
Yeah, you're really fucked. Because if you bought it flat out, that's like a stock going down. You just got to eat that. You got to eat that 1,500, that 20K, however much it is. But if you're financing it, so let's say you bought a Honda that was $7,000 for you down, and you're financing it because it's $20,000 total, right? So you're financing $13K. Now that same shit's worth $15K.
Lucky.
But you're financing $13K. So it's like you're damn near financing the whole car. You can't trade it in.
Yep.
You're fucked. You're fucked. That's what that means. You're fucked. Same with houses, but it's worse because it's more money.
More money. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yeah, exactly. So you just very simplified that, Tommy. That is exactly what's happening right now in the market. So that is starting to happen today, and it's
like today.
Today and like a couple weeks ago is when it really started. Yeah, a couple weeks ago when it really started.
Right.
But it doesn't happen like right away. Vehicles, it did. Housing, not as much. Housing is more recent, where the housing people like D.R. Horton, things like that. I don't know if you know that. It's a company. Actually, 1 in 10 houses in the entire country are made by D.R. Horton. They built that shit. 1 in 10. You know, that's a big ass fucking deal.
10% of the market.
That's a big ass deal, right? So these companies right now are willing to sell you a house for the same amount of money that it costs them to build it. Do you know why? Because they need to keep the wheels moving. Keep the wheels moving. That's what's good for them, is let's keep the wheels moving. The wheels moving is we need to keep building and selling the shit. Building and selling the shit. We can't build it and not sell it. Build it and not sell it. That's not going to work. So they have to take extreme measures to make sure they're building and selling it.
All right, let me get this right.
The price. So that means if your neighbor bought their house for $400,000, you come by today, you buy your house for $325,000, meaning their house is immediately worth $75,000 less.
Wow. And so what you're saying, you know,
that's
if I got to wrap my head around this. Kids, I was under the impression I was going to graduate and go into a terrible housing market. I've been looking at vans to live out of. Dead ass. Might be good. So that's what I thought, like, price of housing, like, fucking rent is as expensive as a mortgage is now, like, so basically you just fucked if you just don't have money to put down on a house, you're fucked. So that's what I thought I was leaving at. Like, housing was hella expensive. I wasn't going to be able to own. So now you're saying it's going back down. But for the people who bought a house a year or 2 years ago, they're fucked. Yep.
You never want to buy at the peak of anything. You know, you want to buy at the bottom. So for you, exactly like you said, it's an opportunity for you, and that sucks for them. You know, so the fact of the matter is
this all around the country? Or is it like certain places?
All around the country. There's certain areas that are more prone to this right now, which are like Austin, Texas, where during the pandemic they had no inventory. If you look at today compared to then, inventory is up 120%. You know what I mean? So it's booming. There's nobody to buy it. They built it. They want to come.
But this same company you're talking about?
They're part of it, but a lot of companies are part of it. You know what I mean? So, I mean, if you're into stocks and stuff like that, you'll look into that. I mean, there's a lot of different companies. A lot of companies, you know, if you're into all this shit, again, getting too deep into it, but it's more profitable to build a really big house than to build a smaller house, obviously, right? Because you're going to have your bare minimum cost to do whatever you're doing no matter what. So, obviously, that makes sense, But
you're saying nobody wants to even buy these big houses.
Nobody, they can't afford them. I would love to buy it. If it's cheap, I'll buy it. But if I ain't buying it. So that was the problem, you know? And that's where we're at these days. I think the worst, I mean, that's going to be really bad. You could probably wait that out, even if you're underwater, like 50,000 with housing. You can wait that out. But in a car.
Yo, yeah.
Car's
the worst?
Car's the worst, bro. Car's not worth shit. Anybody who wants to buy a car, that's just for status. That's just for show. You know what I mean? A car is not an investment. Never is an investment. You know what I mean? Like, very few people.
What if I buy a van and I live out of
it? That's a different scenario. You know, it's definitely a different scenario.
That's not most niggas.
Yeah, and do you really want to do that? And can you do that? You know what I mean? Because if you think you can and you can't, that's going to be a really bad investment. But if you think you can and you can, then you'll be a high. You know what I'm saying? But you're like, yo, I bought this shit, I'm going to live here. No, this ain't going to work.
Yeah. So the cars is the worst. Housing.
Yeah. Because cars, look at it. Like, most people, like, they buy a car.
Because you're paying off a house for 20 years.
And a house goes up in value.
Yeah.
There's only so many houses. Eventually, it's usually going to appreciate. It will actually, in time, it'll always appreciate.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Right now, they're going to go down for a little bit because they're too high. But cars, they're always going to go down, and they went up too high. You know, and if you bought it at that peak, and now they're going to take the same car and sell it for $20,000 less, well, that means your car is immediately worth
$20,000
more than that because you drove it around. That one's sitting on the lot, brand new.
$30,000.
So $30,000, bro. How much did you drive? Maybe 40. You know, and it's like, what? I didn't even pay 10 of it off yet, and it's worth 40 less, and you can't even trade it in then because of that.
I mean, you gonna be paying off a traded in car?
But they're not gonna let you do that unless you pay the difference off, at least whatever the value is. So I mean, those are the things that
unless you get into some more predatory shit. We'll pay it off for you.
I'll pay it off.
Yeah, I'll pay it off for you. Right. Wink, wink.
Sign me this.
Yeah. Just sign this right here.
And if
I'm gonna put you on a 576 month.
Yeah, exactly. That's what they'll either extend your lease or you'll get in with somebody who's like, I'm gonna take your house or something like that. You know what I mean? Because that's what the opportunistic person needs to do. That's what I'm gonna do. I'm not gonna lie. If you're gonna be foreclosed on your house and it's a good deal, I want to buy it. You know what I mean?
You gonna let them live there?
Hell no. You know, it's capitalism then. You know what I mean? We're playing the game, bro. We're playing the game. It's sad. It's a very sad
You wouldn't
game.
let's say you couldn't find nobody to rent it out to. You gonna let them live there? Like, you can rent it out.
Yeah, pay for it.
Yeah.
You pay money? Yeah, good. Till I find somebody that pays more. But that's capitalism, though, bro. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's the thing. And, like, that's how a lot of people got their come up, and they're like, no, you know, don't be like, that's terrible. That's how you got your come up, and you know it. That is how smart people do it. You wait for the downturns. That's when you invest. Don't invest when everybody's invested and the market's hot. You invest when the market's low and nobody wants to be there.
That's facts.
You know?
Yeah, that is a matter of fact. And I think that brings us to our last segment of the show. That is shit that will matter. And right now, it's shit that's mattering right now, to be honest. But this fucking crypto bubble. Bitcoin, has it hit 100K yet?
I think it's tickling.
I think it's either hit it or it's right there.
Right there.
It's like 97, 98. Bitcoin's about to hit $100,000. This crypto bubble we're talking about bubbles. What do you think about this current crypto bubble? Is Bitcoin is Bitcoin a thing like, man, investing in it at 100,000 is still a good idea?
Right?
Is it?
I don't know. So we're not financial advisors.
Yeah, we are not financial advisors. We don't know shit. We don't know what we're talking about. Do not listen to us. You know. We are two high niggas talking on a podcast.
Drunk, all that fun shit. You know, so don't listen to us. But, you know, from what I know, like, just personally, like, dealing with crypto and looking at statistics, in most instances, Bitcoin and things like that move in conjunction with the market, the S&P 500 and all that.
Mm-hmm.
So, personally, I'd rather, and I found out, actually, that most retail investors, which is retail standing regular niggas, that's what that stands for, which is you and me. Whoever's watching this, that's you too. Yep. Anybody, unless Elon's watching, maybe you're special. But you know what I'm saying? But that's what it is. They underperform the market, actually. That they're actually negative despite the S&P being up.
For real?
That's what they say. I'm not one of those motherfuckers. I'm happy to say. I'm a...
You know why? It's because niggas playing the options.
Yeah, because
niggas playing the options.
Yeah, they're doing stupid. That's the thing. Those people wait out
gambling with stocks. Hell yeah.
All of us. I'm a long-term investor. I encourage anybody who's going to invest to, if you're...
This nigga been short-term. He's been weekly investing since we started the pod, like a year and a half ago, 2 years ago?
Every year, every week, I invest a little bit by little bit. You know, I do a lot of research into what I invest in, and if I'm not, then I just invest into ETFs, which I invest a lot of my money into ETFs just because of being safe. You know, diversification, ultimate diversification, and then there's those companies. I have tons of companies right now. I think it's a Trump bump I have over 100% gains. You know, so wherever I invested, I already double my money and plus.
Do you pull out after that, or do you just double down?
That's one thing. Right now, I'm a big investor into like I said, I'm a long-term investor.
So like, do you recruit, like, let's say it doubled your gains. Do you take out that half of it to...
No, not yet.
Or you just... Okay.
Right now, I just want to... sometimes I did consolidate some things because I wanted to consolidate investments. Because it's like, all right, I'm not going to invest in all of these continuously. Certain things, like, I wanted to, and I did de-invest in, and then it blew up, but I still kept a stake in, was, like, Toast. Toast? Which is blue, yeah.
What is Toast?
Toast is... You know Toast. Everybody who's watching this knows Toast. Toast is a company, and you pay for it with your... right there. It's at $42.88 right now.
I don't know Toast.
Look at my average cost. $18.80. So that's 128% gain. That's $600.
When did you start getting into that?
That's nothing. Toast?
Yeah.
A while ago. And I just love that because one of the things that was stock investing, and I learned that partially from Motley Fool as well. There's David Gartner, a certain investor, is go out in the world and what do you see every day? Invest in that. You know what I mean?
What is something
Toast? New. So Toast is a payment processing. Any restaurant you go to, they're probably using Toast to process your payment.
Oh, that's it.
Yep, quick, easy tap. That's Toast. Setting it up for restaurants, small businesses. So as businesses go out of business and a new business starts, they're probably going to start with Toast. So that's why I'm a big fan of Toast. Again, don't follow any of our investment advice though. But my biggest one here is this one. You know that SoFi Technology right now it's at $15.75. My average cost. Where's that at?
$7.38. You got 335 shares. Oh my god.
335 shares. It's a gain of 113%. So I made $2,800 on that right now. So
that's what's up.
Not bad.
And you don't take none of that. You just keep buying into all that shit.
Yeah, of course. I think it's going to continue.
Do you increase
like when you do your buy a little bit more, but slowly then because I wanted to stack up when I knew I had a good opportunity because I really believed in this company.
Yeah.
And like if I had a lot of money, I'd probably be very rich right now. But it takes money to make money.
Yeah,
that's what everybody needs to know. Like,
that's why Elon has so much money.
When you're doing this, like that's why you stay in those companies and you do it. And I know it's unfortunate. Some people that's why they're doing those day trading shit, like you said. And you're losing the money then. Like, look at this one here as well. Tommy, right here. Honest Company. They're selling, like, paper towels and shit like that. $3.72 diapers and shit. But now they're coming in and making...
So how many companies do you have in your portfolio? If you could just give an estimate.
Less than 20.
So you have 20.
Less than 20 investments total right now in my portfolio. There's less than 20, and some of those.
And how many of those are ETFs?
ETFs.
How many?
So ETFs are. I have three. Three out of the. Let's say probably 19.
19. Yeah. Okay. Word. That's what's up. So when you do your reoccurring investments, so I know like on Robinhood, it has a thing that it'll just do the 10 automatic every week. Do you do that? How often do you tweak it? How often do you just do something additional on top?
For me, I don't do reoccurring investments set up like that. I just know that I'm going to reoccurringly invest.
Okay.
As an individual that I love investing, I know what it is. If my stocks go down, I want to buy more. That's how you need to be. You don't want to buy them when they're going up.
Hell no.
You know what I mean? So when it's low, it's like, I'm all in, bro. Because I know, I researched it, I understand the thesis and the philosophy, and that's why I'm going in. Or if it's an ETF, if you're uncertain and you don't know, then you just invest in the broad market or some ETFs that you've done your research on and you're very comfortable with what they're doing. So then you just keep going in. And, I'm aggressive with that shit, that I love it. I wish more people could get into it like that and gain an appreciation for it.
Yeah.
One of the best methods I think I always talked about, I don't think we ever talked about on this podcast, is get something like one of mine is PFLT, which is the PennantPark floating rate.
What's that?
It's a business development company, PennantPark floating rate right there. You see that? What's that say right there? I'm going to get it. They're going to pay me how much?
Damn, 15 and a dividend?
Yeah, they're just paying every month. That's every month.
Monthly?
Monthly.
Nah, that's fire.
How much that? So
you got 139 shares.
I got $1,500 in there. $1,500 and I get $15 every month. Think about that. How young are you, Tommy? If you kept that in there for 10 years, so that's going to buy more than a share a year. More than a share a month.
Oh, you just put that right back in.
Yep, that's a reinvesting. So this would be more than a share a month. So if somebody like you, if you did that, and that's going to invest that much money, you're going to get at least 15 shares a year if you put 1,500 in and let it sit. And then, actually, that 1,500, the extra 15 shares you get is worth an extra $1.50 every month. Boom, boom, boom. It doesn't sound like a lot, $1.50 every month.
Nah,
but it only costs $11 for the share.
It's passive.
It only costs $11 for the share. So $1.50 is going to buy more than a tenth of a share.
And it's passive. Like,
yeah, you're not
for
doing
one share,
nothing.
that's like $150. That's whatever. But when you have 1,000 of them, that's $150 every month. Mm-hmm. When you got 10,000, it's $1,500 every month.
Yep. So like you could like I tell people like especially if you're like older or something like that, they want to invest in stuff like this, and say okay, well how much do I invest in this? I get $150 a month, pays my phone bill. I don't have to sell a share of stock. It just pays my phone bill every month. Cool. I'm not selling nothing. I'm not doing nothing.
That's why people don't understand why
I invested in that and it pays my phone bill. Cool.
People don't understand why like people like Elon Musk are so rich. He doesn't have any money.
You don't need to do nothing. If you're that rich, you don't need to do anything. You're getting so much on interest alone. You don't need to do anything. You don't need to invest like we are talking about right now. You'll just gain interest on 0.1% and you're going to gain hundreds of millions of dollars.
Yeah. A day.
A day, yeah.
A day from an Elon
not
perspective.
100 millions a day, and that's but you're getting millions of dollars a day. More than he can spend a day, he gains in interest.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, that is a fucking matter of fact.
Yeah, definitely.
Do you think any of like these? Well, how much of this, including the housing and car prices going down, that bubble getting ready to burst, crypto going up, that bubble building up? How much of this do you attribute to Trump?
You definitely gotta say a lot. Because I know as soon as he won, all my shit skyrocketed. That's a matter of fact. But, is that a good reason? Is it a realistic justification that Trump should warrant that big of an increase? Do
you think that's
I don't think
like
so.
scary?
Yes.
So
for me,
as an investor, does that make you want to jump out? Like, do you think it's ready to go down? Does that make you want to double down, or you're waiting?
This is very important. This is very important, actually. So if you look at things right now, and I do all the time, and you look at the big time investors, Warren Buffett. Most people will say the greatest investor of all time.
He's selling his shit.
He's selling his shit. A lot of people are selling their shit. People who own insider shares of their own company are selling their shit. So I think they know something is up and that the stocks are going to drop. But if you're a person,
these niggas are also old though.
And they're also very rich. So if you're the average person, what they tell you is don't try to time the market. Because honestly, this is how I invest too, is can I really save a lot of money like that? No. But this is a good way to save it is by spending it on stocks.
Yeah.
That's
fact.
That's right? That's what I'm saying. You like to spend money? Me too. This is what I buy.
Let's buy some stocks, guys.
Right? Let's buy some stocks. Let's buy some stocks.
So all buy some stocks together.
So, and I got some real good recommendations and things like that.
Nah, yeah.
Like,
we gonna talk. If y'all want to hear more about that, since we're not financial advisors, check us out on our Patreon. Because that's when we can talk more openly. But since we're not financial advisors, we can't do too much on here because we don't want to get flagged. But Rob, he's really good with the stock shit. Like, I remember, from when we started, I think I remember where your account was to now. That shit's crazy.
It's a lot more.
That shit's crazy. It's not
that long, right? That's where we're at now.
Yeah, I think when we started, I was 5, maybe 6. Yeah, and again, this was a year and a half, maybe 2 years ago. I don't think even 2 years, but maybe. A year and a half ago. So again, when you see people like Warren Buffett, these people selling some, does that make you want to sell some and then buy back in later, or you just steady the reoccurring, like
No,
fuck
yeah.
a dollar
So,
cost average?
especially if you know what you're doing, like, and again, I can't I'm not gonna claim to be an expert or anything like that, and don't follow me. But there's certain stocks that you watch, and it's like people are like, oh, look at that one, SoFi, the biggest example. When that dropped mega, that's when I bought the most shares ever. When it was at its lowest, you know what I mean, when it was dropping, I was like, okay, that showed me the sign that when they sold it, that's when I wanted to buy it.
Because you knew it was going to go up.
Because I knew it was going to go up.
Yeah.
I knew it was going to go up. You know, that's the same thing. Warren Buffett just sold shares of new holdings. I bought that shit. You know what I'm going to do again? I'm going to keep buying that shit. If you want to look at new holdings right now,
because you're in it for the long term.
That's NU. I'm in it for the long.
So when you say long term, how long are you thinking?
Look at the earnings of new. What does that look like? It's going
up.
So there's the. You see those? That's where they expect it, and the bright one is where it landed. So it beat expectations all the time, and that's going up.
But my thing is,
so that's what I buy. It was up at 15, and then Warren sold his shares. And I said, okay, great. Thank you, Warren, because I'm going to buy those because you just made it lower for me because you had so much shit.
All right.
So you affect the price like that.
And I love, that you're really into this because I'm definitely going to need some advice. But this is my thing. You say you're buying for the long term. Now, you're in your late 30s, right?
Yep.
Late 30s. You don't have kids. You're not planning on having kids. So when you speak of the long term, how long is that? How long are you thinking about holding these stocks?
You know what I mean? Unfortunately, I expect I'm going to have to work till I'm 65, 75. You know what I mean? So.
You think? You think if you can get the stocks right, you'll still want to work? Are you holding it for retirement?
No, so that's the other thing.
What is it? What is the goal for you?
I used to do in my 401k. I used to invest 10% of my income in my 401k.
Damn.
Yeah. Well, just in this one actually. I mean, I when you move jobs, you start a new one. So that's one thing that keeps. So when I started, I did that, and then I lowered it because I was like, you know what, I might die before I get to that. Facts, bro. You gotta think of that. So I was like, you know what, I'm gonna invest it in something that I can access sooner than my 401k. I don't want it tied up there, and I love investing. I think I can invest better than my 401k because my 401k doesn't have that many things. You know what I mean? Right now, if you look at my 401k investments, I think 65% every paycheck goes to S&P 500.
65%?
65%. S&P 500, baby. You know what I mean?
Every paycheck?
Yep.
65% of the bread you make is going to S&P 500.
S&P 500.
And you still think you're going to work till you're 70?
That's what I plan on doing. You have to plan that way. I would advise everybody to.
You'd rather, plan on doing
more than you have to do. You know what I mean? If you get lucky and you can end early, good. But don't plan on it. You know what I mean? You never know what's going to happen. Right now, the market gains are what they are. Are they going to continue to be that way? Probably not.
Don't know.
Which is why I'm adjusting my investments.
You're adjusting how much? How often do you do that?
It depends. So one thing I did, I used to have a lot of stock into Microsoft. I sold it all.
Really?
I sold it all.
I remember.
Yep.
You sold all of it?
I sold it all.
Why?
Because it was too big of a portion of my investment, especially when I considered that I invest in ETFs. And Microsoft is going to be involved in a lot of ETFs that you buy. So it's like, okay, if I sell that and I replace it with a lot of the ETF, I'm still going to have just as much impact of Microsoft. But then I'm going to have Microsoft, Google, Apple, Amazon, Tesla. Okay, that sounds a lot better, doesn't it? Which one do you want to invest in? All of those or just one?
All of them.
All of them. Yep.
So do you not invest in Apple individually either?
So for me personally, when companies get into the mega cap category, I try not to invest in them anymore. Because I like to invest in small caps. You probably saw some of my portfolio with because you're going to get your gains there. Huge gains, especially if it's like a market moving thing. And there's a lot of those opportunities. You just have to hear about them.
Yeah.
Look at this one, dude. Cooler Technologies, which works with like batteries and shit like that. Look at this. Look how much that's worth. 50 cents a share.
And you think that's going
How much should I get it
Oh,
for?
shit.
How much should I get it for?
You already made fucking $100 off of it.
So I made
it's not even
70,
a dollar a share.
73% increase of my investment there. You know, so the potential there is huge. You're talking about like a lot of futuristic technology type of stuff. But it's speculative. So that's the thing. You either have to do a lot of research and be comfortable with it, and you don't want to do too much. I didn't invest a lot of money there, but I have a lot of shares. So if it does blow up in the future, it's a really good opportunity.
When do the returns become enough for you to like, all right, sell? Like, a lot of people say like, they talk about the, I don't know if you heard about the Bitcoin dude who he sold $10,000 Bitcoin for a pizza back in 2013. And they're like, now that would be worth however much. So for you, like most people, like, let's say you bought Bitcoin when it was less than a cent. You would have been sold it when it went up to like $1,000. You would have probably been sold it, right? So for you, how long do you hold on to shit? How much do you have to keep some in there just for the fuck of it and then sell some? Like, what's your mindset towards that?
It depends on each individual company and everything like that. You got to be really specific. But again, if I advise everybody, I'm not a good person to listen to the Motley Fool.
Motley
Fool. They have a couple different podcasts.
We are not financial advisors.
We're not financial advisors, but they're not either, but they're good. You know what I mean? They're proven. They're some of the best in the world. Their information is awesome. Listen to their podcast. I highly recommend them. And they have people that they sponsor as well on YouTube and things like that. And every show that I watch is great information. Fired Up Wealth, awesome. You know, and that's where I'm getting some of this stuff from. And it's like, that you listen to it, but then it's like, okay, what do you believe in? What makes sense to you? Does that make sense in the world that is going to play out that way? Do you see it?
Yeah.
You know, and sometimes I do, and at the same time too, you're only going to have so much money too. You know, so it's like if you really want to believe in something, you can only really believe in so many things because you want to go in. That's why I have 335 shares, like you said. You know, it's like, oh, you got that's a lot of shares, right?
No, yeah.
You know, it's like obviously I had conviction in that stock, and I doubled my money. That's awesome.
Right.
You know.
Yeah.
So, and there's other ones where I only have 55 shares, and I did double my money as well. You know, but I didn't. It's like you don't have more.
So, are you afraid of the stock bubble that's building up?
I want it to happen.
Because you want it to go down.
Yeah. So that's the thing.
But you're not going to sell. You're just going to take the hit.
No,
because you're already in for long term.
That's an awesome question, Tommy. That is an amazing question. I'm glad you asked that question for anybody who's watching and anybody who's listening. Yeah, if you're somebody who's younger and like for us, you want the stock market to drop. I dollar cost average because that's the thing to do. And when I'm doing that, I usually look for the stocks of mine that I'm currently buying that are on the decline. Those are the ones that I want to buy. I don't want to buy the ones that are on the up and up. You know what I mean? Because I think they're going to go down.
And you just keep buying. You don't sell and then buy?
No.
Like you don't sell and then watch it go down and buy?
I don't try to time the market or any funny stuff like that. Word. You know, I keep it in there.
Because why? You know it's going to go up.
Because I know in the long term it's going to go up for sure. You know, and if I do sell something, it's not a sell and a cash out. It's a reallocation. So I never take money out of my portfolio and take it out of the portfolio. If I take it out of a stock, it goes into something else. You know what I mean? So right now, in this time, for me personally, what I would do is I'm looking at things that pay dividends. Because I don't think the gains in the stock market are going to be very high. So in that instance, so it's like, okay, is the...
Okay, that makes sense.
Like, right? Like, is they're really going to make a lot of, like, I don't know. But are the steady companies that do what they do going to keep paying their same money? Their cash flow companies, like your utilities, your real estate. Are you going to keep collecting your rent as utilities? Are you going to keep paying for your electric? You know what I mean? You're going to keep paying your phone bill. Like
is Apple going to keep making phones?
Exactly. Is Microsoft going to keep providing Outlook and all that shit that you use?
Is Elon going to keep being Elon?
You know what I mean? Like that sort of stuff. So, like, that's what I'm looking to invest in personally right now is, like, just to as like a safe haven, but I do have my small caps that I really like. So I see Transmedics is going down right now. That's a crazy company, dude. So right now, do you know how you harvest an organ?
Fuck no.
Well, if you harvested an organ, in most instances, you would be like, okay, I'm an organ donor. A lot of people, I'm going to sign up, check the box. Okay, well, what happens after that? I'm dead. What happens to my organ? Well, they're going to put it in a fucking igloo ice box and send that shit out.
Mm-hmm.
That's what they're going to do. Legit. Not anymore.
Yeah, I've seen that.
Not anymore.
Oh, really?
Because Transmedics exists, the only FDA-approved company that can take an organ and keep it pumping, moving, breathing, living during the transportation process to the donor. You know, so brand new technology. They actually bought an airline training company that trains pilots. They have their own, you know, so they have planes and things like that to add to the infrastructure, which is a huge capital investment, which drives their stock price down in the eyes of some people if you just look at numbers and don't understand what the numbers mean.
Yeah.
Which is what I think is happening.
Because short term, like, they're spending so much, like...
They're building it out.
Yeah.
They're building it out. You know, I mean, they have this for a couple different organs, so they figured it out. A couple different organs. What if I can do another organ? Well, we're working on it. You know what I mean? So I think that their potential to expand is huge.
And you're buying into that.
I love this company. Right now, I'm underwater in this company, technically, if you want to say that. You know, I was buying in when it was higher, and it's dropping a lot right now. And when it's dropping, I want to buy even more. Because long term, I think this is huge. You know, that was the same thing with, like, SoFi. Same thing, there's a couple stocks that you just got to, like, it's definitely long term.
Did you get into NVIDIA before it blew up?
I did. For me, the way I got into NVIDIA was with SMH, which is a strictly semiconductor-based ETF, which I think it only holds 25 companies. So that's a very small ETF.
Because most got like 500, 200 plus.
Exactly. Exactly. That's
like S&P 500, that got how many?
It has, it has 26. Wow. So SMH has 26, which is the smallest ETF I think I've ever seen. But NVIDIA is the greatest portion of it. So I was huge into that, and I continue to buy into that. I bought a lot of it recently, which brings down my cost basis, and then it looks like I didn't make as much money. But you don't care about that shit in the long run if you believe in it, especially with the ETFs. And then that's the same thing. NVIDIA is also in that other one. So this is the SPYG I talk about. Look at those companies. Do you believe in NVIDIA?
Yeah.
Apple?
I believe in
Microsoft?
all those. Yeah.
Amazon?
100%.
Facebook? Google?
Alphabet?
Tesla? Broadcom? Eli Lilly? Yeah. You've heard of those, right?
So
that's what I tell people. Is like, if you think those fail, probably the world's ending.
Probably.
I don't know. Right?
Either that or shit got really fucked up. Before we close out the pod, I just wanted to, really get. So when you are, you don't plan to have kids, right? You say you're planning to work until you're 65. So when you're 65, is that when are you going to just sell all of your stocks? Like, are you going to keep them?
No.
Like, when do you sell them all? Like, why would you keep them all if you have nobody to pass them down to?
I'll find somebody. But you always want to be smart with your money, no matter what. You know what I mean? Like, even if
so you would just live off dividends? Not
necessarily. So you got to see how things are playing out. You know what I mean? Depends how much dividends I'm getting. You know,
like if you're getting let's say every month $8,000 a month off dividends.
If I'm getting $8,000 a month off dividend, yeah, I'm living.
You're just gonna live off dividends
because I'm probably not gonna be in this country. So I'll probably be a sultan in Thailand or Philippines or some crazy country, living on an island. Crazy. But one thing I do, like, to be honest with you, like, is my mom. You know what I mean? She's going to retire soon, and I really encourage her. I said, you know what you need to do is you need to get a Robinhood account. And you need to see what happens with your money. Like, I'm going to get an advisor. Don't do that. Please. You know what I mean? Like people do that all the time. Like, oh, you get an advisor. Like, she doesn't have a lot of money. You know what I mean? She's like, oh, that's what my buddy at work does, Gina. I said, well, Gina, she has twice as much money as you do. You know why? Because she's married. So she has her and her husband. You're not. It's just her. And she's behind the 8 ball already. So you don't want to get, first of all, you have to pay them a percentage to manage your money. And I saw
They might be wrong.
And they could be wrong. They might not be that great anyway. It's not that hard anyway, especially if you're doing ETFs. Because watch, they'll be like invest in some basic ETFs and taking a fee for that. Right?
I
invested in SP500.
And the same shit you could have figured out on YouTube, right? Watching Matter of Fact.
Yeah, exactly. It's like, I invested in SP500. You're good. It's like, what?
Yeah,
it's stupid.
You're good.
So
it's going to compound over time. Don't worry.
My all-time, I'm at what?
You are
30%
up.
That's pretty good.
30% up all time. When did you start?
Past year.
For what day?
Past year.
Past year, you're up 26%.
Not bad to go to year.
Wait, all time?
I don't think it tells you when it's
probably so back. May 2021.
Yeah, and look at those. Like, I didn't really do it then.
Well, yeah. When he really started it.
Yeah, like way back. Like
it was like
I didn't really get into it.
Well, that's when you was down. When you really first put money in, it was like June 2021. But when he really started getting into it,
yeah. Wow, that's great. That's higher than I thought. Your date
up 20%, just in 2024 alone. So if y'all want to know more about the stocks, I'm sorry if y'all didn't care about this and we drug this on, but whatever. If y'all do care about it and you care about making fucking money, because you should, that's the only way you might be able to get out of this trap of America that's about to come up on you with this economic bubble that's about to burst. Make sure y'all subscribe to our Patreon. All of that will be linked into the description. But if you made it this far, we freaking love you. Appreciate y'all, man. Y'all need last words before we get up out of here?
Nah, just be thankful. You know what I mean? It's that time of year. I'm thankful for a lot. Thankful for everything. Some things don't work out. Some things aren't the way you want them to be. But just be grateful for what you have.
Yeah.
That's what I have to think about. You know what I mean? Like, don't focus on the negative. Don't focus on what's not there. Focus on what is there. And embrace everything that is.
And that, as a matter of fact, ladies and gentlemen, have a blessed Thanksgiving with your family. If you don't got your family, with your friends. And if you don't got your friends, with yourself. Because at the end of the day, that's all you need. Love and appreciate y'all. And we will catch y'all on the next one. This is Modern Day Hippies with Matter of Fact signing out. We'll catch you on the next one. Peace.
Busy.